We had originally scheduled to get started about 7 o'clock, but we thought we'd go ahead and get started early so everybody can get home this evening. But we certainly appreciate everybody coming tonight to be with us on a really exciting beginning to a wonderful program at Community Health Network. My name is Kyle Fisher. I'm the Chief Strategic Development Officer for the network, and I'm really excited on behalf of our sports medicine team and our school partners in George Hill that you all are here tonight to be a part of this event. As you saw back on the advertising boards back there, we do have a motto for our program: dream big, work hard, and finish strong. And we think with the partners that we have in this room tonight, with an absolutely wonderful spokesperson, that we're going to really execute on what a fantastic motto this is. As a network, Community Health Network really has been focused in on access, really over the last 12 to 24 months. And we really see this program as jump-starting and working and tying in with our initiatives at the network to outreach with student athletes and families. It's just a wonderful way to increase access at the network. I just want to acknowledge some of our school partners that are here tonight from Lawrence Township, Warren Township, Decatur and Franklin Townships, Noblesville, Greenwood, and Beech Grove. Thank you everyone for participating. With your new partnerships, along with the ones that we've had, we are now serving over 50,000 students through our clinics and nursing program, and their families and employees at the high schools. That is just fantastic. So thank you everybody for what you do. The program, this is really exciting. I have to tell you, a lot of people in this room, led by John Four and Nicole Wilson and Dr. Wilson and all of our physician partners and trainers, really have been putting in a ton of hours to get where we are today. And I can assure you that our dream is much bigger. There's no reason that, or a coincidence that we start off our motto with dream. Because once you hear George Hill's story, you know it started with a dream as a young boy, and certainly has grown into something that we are all extremely proud of, and we're proud that he's chosen to be our partner. At this point, I'd really like to introduce John Four, who's the CEO of our ambulatory division, to really give you some more details about the program and what it entails. John?
Thanks, Kyle. I'm not going to be very long because I know folks really want to hear from Dr. Wilson and George. But I will say just a couple things. It was a little over 2 years ago where we decided, and Kyle mentioned it, that we were really committed to access and how could we develop a more robust relationship, partnership with the various schools within Indianapolis and the greater Indianapolis area. And we really developed what we thought and believe it is a real innovative approach to developing those partnerships. And that three-legged stool, if you will, is built around employer health clinics where we serve or we take care of patients, or I should say employees and dependents of the school system. We've placed school nurses in a number of schools throughout the city and the greater Indianapolis area. And then the third area really was to reach out and really get into the sports medicine game. And this whole vision started about 2 years ago. And happy to report that our sports medicine program has literally been built piece by piece. And we currently have a very robust group of fellowship-trained sports medicine orthopods. We have primary care fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians. We have a wonderful group of new trainers. I had a chance to meet them a couple weeks ago at Dr. Wilson's house and was just so impressed with their energy and their experience and their commitment to taking care of the athletes that are serving all the schools that are represented here. Excited that we will be providing impact testing, concussion management, sports physicals, and a number of other services, and delighted that August 1 will open a Saturday sports injury clinic. So when you think about where we were 2 years ago and where we are now, it's nothing short of incredible. And so with that, I just want to take a moment to thank all of the folks on the community sports medicine team who are responsible for putting this program together. I want to thank Kyle for all his support. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the schools who are represented here tonight for the trust that you've put in us, because we couldn't be more excited about taking care of your kids, and they really are your kids. So thank you very much, and Dr. Wilson, or Kyle. There. Thank you.
I've got the pleasure of introducing the star of the evening. I don't know if you all remember this. I say that because obviously we've been talking to George Hill for some time, but I'll take you back to July 7th. And it's, you know, it was at the morning after he announced that he was becoming a Pacer and he's going to stay here. No place like home. I know everybody in this room was really excited that he was going to stay and play for a team that he had dreamed about. But the interesting thing that I really, you know, one of the questions that I was asked earlier is why George Hill? And if you just read the first paragraph in this article, you really understand the kind of character that George is. And I'm not going to read it all, but you know, as you know, and you've seen him as probably as late as a couple evenings ago, it's not just about being a Pacer. It's about giving back to the community. And if you've heard him talk and you understand what he's doing with his Hill Rising Stars, it really is about the youth. And I have to tell you that he's just an awesome individual. He's a great professional. He has a huge heart. I first got to know George Hill through our common relationships with St. Richard's School here in town. As you read his story, which is phenomenal, you know about Broad Ripple, you know about IUPUI, going to the professionals, playing with San Antonio Spurs, and thank God coming back home again to Indiana with the Pacers. But as the story goes, and George may come up here and tell me it happened a little bit different, back when he was a young aspiring athlete, about this big, he looked through the fence at St. Richard's School and said, "Hey, can I come in and play basketball?" And Jay Sherrill, who was the athletic director at that time and is today, said, "Sure, come on in. If you can play by our rules, you're welcome." Well, George ended up playing for St. Richard's. And the cool thing after that is every year they have an alumni basketball game. And both my sons and my daughter went to St. Richard's. Both my sons played basketball. When my son Ben was an 8th grader, he came back, or he was playing at the time. George came and played in the alumni league, and I'm sure he doesn't remember this. My son Ben at that time was this feisty little kid that thought he was going to be a great basketball star. He was not very tall in stature, but he was actually pretty good. And George went over and picked him up so he could dunk the basketball. And Ben was telling me that story last night because I said, "Hey, I'm going to see George Hill tomorrow." And he said, "Dad, I'll never forget it because he gave me a memory and something that I probably will never do is dunk a basketball." And so when you hear George talk about his passion for kids and children, I've seen it firsthand. You know, he gave Ben an option. He gave Ben a memory that he probably would never have. Now, Ben today is still quick and feisty, but he's taller than I am, so things do get better over time. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce someone who we are really excited about partnering with, number 3 Indiana Pacers, George Hill.
Thanks, Kyle, but the story was a lot different. Well, I just want to say, you know, it's an honor to be here, especially with the group that we have here today. So I'm blessed just to be a part of this organization, this community, sports medicine, something that, in the front of the name, I keep talking about. The biggest name on there is community, and that's something that I really would like to do with myself is, you know, to impact lives in the community and give back to the community. But like you said, you know, I went to Broad High School, but before all that, the story I have to go to the story. But the story was I grew up on, my mom and dad was never together. So my mom stayed on 34th and Meridian, my dad stayed on 34th and Keystone. So I was, jumped between two fences. But we know that 34th and Keystone was not a very solid neighborhood, rather than 34th and Meridian. It was okay, but it wasn't solid either. St. Richard's was a private school, and it was fixed around everywhere, so you really couldn't get in there without knowing someone. Well, the court that I used to play at was at School 60. If anyone know where that is, off of 34th Street. Well, School 60 court was the rim. They always take the rim down right after school because I guess they were scared people might steal the rim. So they always take the rim down, so I never had a court to shoot on. Well, St. Richard's is all fenced in. The first time I met Mr. Sherrill was, I didn't know any better. I was a little kid, from the city of Indianapolis. Really didn't have a way out that I didn't think of. So to me, the fence wasn't that tall. I knew that I can climb on a couple things and get over that fence. They say you have to make things happen, so I found a way to make it happen. So I jump over the fence, and I'm in there. St. Richard's at first, they had two little type of courts, and I would jump over the fence every day. After I see everyone that I thought that was in the building leave, I would jump over the fence and try to play basketball, work on my game, shooting, dribbling, things like that. Well, Mr. Sherrill, I guess, didn't leave when he's supposed to leave. Because I'm shooting outside this day, and he comes out the door. Well, as a young kid, you think you're in trouble. So first thing I did was just forget the ball. I take off running, hop over the fence, and he doesn't see me for a couple of days. Well, I guess he outsmarted me. They say, the adults are a lot smarter than the kids. So I try to do it probably 3 or 4 days later, and I don't know if he was watching me the whole time, like I'm going to wait and see if this kid comes back. Well, he was watching me this day, so I jump over again, I'm playing, and he snuck up on me. I don't know where he came from, but when I turned around, we were almost face to face. So the first thing I tried to plead my case, no, I'm sorry, I'll leave. He was like, no, you're okay. So I go in there, I was like, I just want to play basketball. Well, his thing was, I didn't go to school there. Well, you can play basketball, like you said, if you abide by the rules. Well, I didn't know the rules. The rules in I'm like, I know basketball rules. I don't double, I don't travel, so I don't understand what you're talking about. Those are the rules I thought. Well, his rules was, just make sure you don't mess up anything or break anything. You put back everything the way it is. I can deal with that. So I keep doing that over time, and one day he comes outside and he asks me, hey, what school do you go to? At the time I was in 3rd grade, and I was going to Ernie Powell Middle School. I stayed on 34th and Meridian. They shipped me way out to Speedway, to Ernie Powell Middle School. And I'm going there, and I was like, well, I'm going to Ernie Powell Middle School. No, it was elementary, sorry about that. Ernie Powell Elementary School. And I go there, he was like, well, how about this school? Oh, no, you have to wear, slacks, and you have to wear the jacket and the tie. I don't have money for all that. No, we're okay, we can handle that. Okay, I still don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but okay, I'm going to go ask my mom. So I go home and ask my mom, and as a child, she doesn't, we relay the message, but not the way that they told us. So I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to go to St. Richard's School. No, you're not going to St. Richard's School. We don't have $15,000 or whatever it costs a year to go to St. Richard's. No, they're going to pay for it. No, they're not going to pay for it. They're just telling you they're going to pay for it. They're going to put it on my credit. I was like, Mom, you have no credit. In my house, I said, Mom, your credit's already messed up. You already told me that you have this loan out from school and this loan out from beauty college, so your credit's already jacked up because I know because they call on the phone all the time. So I got in trouble for, I guess, talking back, but it was a joke. So Mr. Sherrill, I guess, took care of everything. I don't know what he did. I got a scholarship, whatever it was, but I went there for a year, and I got to play on the 3rd grade team. Well, I was in 3rd grade. You're not supposed to play unless you're 4th or 5th. I don't know how I end up on the 7th grade team in 3rd grade. But I was on the 7th grade team at the 3rd grade, and I just kept playing. But that was my whole story about St. Richard's, because Mr. Sherrill really touched my life. He showed me a different way out. And ever since that day when that happened, I always wanted to be the type that always said, if I ever make it to the NBA or whatever I do in life, I'm ever rich, I want to be able to impact young kids' lives and give them a different way out. So that's what I started the George Hill Rising Stars program. And I started with one team. I have two little brothers named Michael Saunders and Brevin Jefferson. Both of them right now go to St. Richard's. I put them in St. Richard's School. And I have another kid that was on my AU team. His parents lost their job. They were struggling, and this kid is super smart. So I'm like, I know the perfect school for you, St. Richard's. So I paid for him to go to school too. I'm like, it all works out. We're going to have a nice basketball team at St. Richard's. The kids are doing great, and they're learning and having fun. So the first day, the funny thing, the first day I asked the kids, so how do you guys like school? Did you like it better? Yeah, we get to eat as much lunch as possible. That's the only thing you guys like? Well, yeah, and our gym time is a lot longer than every other school. But, you know, as the day goes on, they understand that the school is a lot harder than their original school, and they respect that. You can see that they're a lot smarter than where they were a couple years ago. So that was my St. Richard's story. But my George Hill Rising Stars program started with one team. At the time, they were second grade. We had them when they were first grade, my little brother's team. Now they're in fourth grade. We started with 10 kids. I have over 120 now. So I have a first grade team, a second grade team, third, two fourth, fifth grade and sixth grade, and then I have a fifth and sixth grade girls team. And I'm going to continue to start building. Next month, I'm going to start a George Hill Rising Stars football team for ages 7, 9, 10 to 12. So I want to try to touch every sport because I played every sport. That's my goal. But I have to, you know, make a little bit more and figure out how I can make all this work, because with the school and with the AAU, and the kids are getting, I have fourth graders wearing size 10, so they don't wear $60 shoes anymore. Their shoes are $110 a pair. So I have to figure out how all this works. But to get in with community, it was just an honor to be a part of. When they said that they want me to help them and I wanted them to help me, two organizations that really wanted to, you know, touch the lives of young men and women in the community, it was a no-brainer for me to say, well, let's do it and let's try to get this ball rolling to make it the best community sports medicine program that we ever thought of. So I'm going to be hands-on. He knows that whatever I'm in, I'm going to give it my 110%, my undivided attention. I'm going to try to go over and beyond to do that, and I'm just happy to be a part of. I'm thanking you guys for giving me the opportunity to be with you guys. I don't know anything about if you tell me to put an ace bandage on or anything like that. That's you guys' job. I'll just be there to root you on. But other than that, I got to get back to what I was actually here for, because I can go all day about stories. And I'm sure they're probably like, this guy talks too much. I don't get to talk that much on the court, so I'm going to talk here. But with community, you know, with them, you know, embracing middle school and high school, it's just something that I feel that is right up my alley. I can relate to them. I can help them, and I'm sure that I'm going to try to do as many appearances as possible to get out in the community, to go to middle schools and high schools to talk to them and let them know about, you know, different situations that they can become better, you know, not just athletes, but better men and women in the community. So that's my main thing, is just being here for the whole community, because I grew up here. I love Indianapolis. Besides the cold weather, I love it. And I'm just happy to be here. So I thank, you know, Community Sports Medicine for giving me an opportunity. I thank you guys for giving me an opportunity to be a part of you guys, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Talk about George Hill, I'm going to give it him first. I knew there was more to the story than just that. Our last speaker is Dr. Frank Wilson. We can't pull this off without physician leadership. You probably all know Dr. Wilson. Speaking at one point in time, he was a student athlete himself, playing for Bobby Knight, the class of '73, played with some pretty awesome basketball players. So not only does he bring phenomenal medical experience, but a lot of Indiana basketball history too. So Dr. Wilson.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, George, you're a hard guy to follow, but as medical director of the Community Health Network, I want to thank Kyle for all your visionary efforts, and Bryan Mills couldn't be here, just for recognizing the need for a sports medicine program. For many of us, sports medicine has been in our DNA for decades, and many of the doctors out here, we've done sports medicine on our own, but we feel like now we get to link arms. And we have a big hospital network, we have a big community outreach, we have a lot of trainers, and linking arms like this is going to do a lot to influence the community. Having George to inspire us is a fantastic thing to have on our team. And George, not only are we glad you're with us, and we're glad that you're going to win the NBA championship for Indianapolis. So you might ask, what's the big deal? Why have a sports medicine program? Well, let me just give you a couple quotes. During a 5-year period in the 2000s, there were 2.5 million visits to the emergency room for sports medicine-related injuries from the ages of 8 to 15-year-old. There's a lot of interest in minimal traumatic brain injury. Well, that's a new term for me. I just spent a 2-hour thing at the sports medicine seminar in Baltimore. We call those concussions. Anywhere from 1.5 to 4 million concussions a year. They're way underreported. We have to take that seriously. And in some of our orthopedic world, we care a lot about anterior cruciate injuries. There's reported 95,000 new anterior cruciate ligament injuries every year, and about 70,000 of those go to surgery. It's a significant thing. Sports participation is growing at a fast and furious rate locally and across the country. Injury rates are going up proportionally. We at Community Sports Medicine are keeping up with the pace, and we feel that we're in the game to do what we can to protect and treat all levels of athletes, from weekend warriors to guys like George Hill at the Indiana Pacers. This is definitely a team effort. I would like the orthopedic surgeons to please step forward so we can recognize you. And their names have been rotating here on the ship. Come on. Each guy will be actively participating in the schools, in the high school physicals, and sideline medicine, and keep things going from the medical standpoint. And then the other people that are dressed like I am are valuable. Oh, Mike, come here. Mike just got hired. Mike is our first primary care fellowship trained sports medicine guy. We are so thrilled to have that medical input. We orthopods are kind of narrow-minded sometimes. We think way too much about the ACL and not enough about the concussions and stuff. We're really glad to have Mike on board. Next, I'd like to have our athletic trainers step forward, and each one of these people have been assigned to your schools. This group is a fantastic group of very smart, intelligent people, hardworking. They make our lives fantastically easy from our orthopedic surgery perspective. And last but not least, Nicole Wilson, step forward. Nicole is the director of our sports medicine and physical therapy outreach clinics, and without her, she is juggling more balls than you can imagine, and she's putting the pieces together, and we just say thank you very much. I'd like to thank the high schools that are here, and I just have to give a shout out for Lawrence North, because that is my team, and we have more people, and Jack Kiefer's here. Jack, state championship this year, and I just want want to let you know that we're here to help you people. If you can't get somebody, call Nicole. Thank you.
Kyle? Well, that concludes the program tonight. Again, we'll just really thank everybody. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of great things coming ahead, and I think we have some drawings, so